Hello, UNESCO site lovers and confusing directions fans. Welcome to my channel. My name is Jana and this is Curves on the Road. Today I will be showing you the brand new site that was added to the UNESCO list. And it a little bit shows. We're currently in Krupka and it's the mining region of Czech Republic, and there are several cities that were all together as the mining region added. Unfortunately, for now, it took us good 20 minutes to figure out how to get to this lovely view of the castle. They were saying that you can't drive there while the walk is just a couple of 100 meters, so we were really confused driving around trying to find the parking spaces, so they'll have to still work on that. But otherwise, look at the view behind me, isn't it spectacular? So the parts of the UNESCO site is this Church of Assumption with the beautiful bell tower. Then it's the smaller one with the red tower, which is called something with ghosts. Which ghosts?
Holy Ghost.
Holy Ghosts. And in the back, I don't think you can even see it properly. There's like another tower, and that's the last one, and that's the St. Anne's Church. The Krupka castle, also called Rosenberg, was founded sometime in 14th century by the king Wenceslas II. It was abandoned in 17th century, so today we can see just the ruins. If you're hungry, you can have your meal at the restaurant behind the ramparts. During Middle Ages, Krupka was one of the world-leading producers of tin and silver. Because of its location near the German borders, during the Second World War, this part of the country was called so-called Sudetenland, and it was annexed by Germany. Near the city there is a place to commemorate the sad history of this area. It's there to honor the death of 313 prisoners of war who had to march on so-called March of Death, where the prisoners were forced to walk long distances under terrible conditions, and many of them didn't survive. The history is sometimes really sad, but it's very important to remember it so that we don't make the same mistakes again. And nothing like the Second World War should ever happen again. We are now in the city of beer, Zatec. There are breweries and museums of beer, and most importantly the Zatec hops, the plant that beer is made out of, is here around, grown and delivered all around the world. The tradition of growing Saaz noble hops is over 700 years old. Zatec produces its own beer and it hosts Dočasná, which is a hop-related harvest festival that takes place every year on the town square. We have stopped for a dinner. The pizza was huge. And then we went to our next location. If you want to learn more about the dark history of Czech after the Second World War, you should visit this other UNESCO site, the Red Tower of Death. We had a great tour guide that really knew a lot about the subject and made the tour really interesting.
Pomůžu vám. Jeden, druhý, třetí. Zapornutý v zemi. Nebudu vás trápit. Jeden osnáč, druhý osnáč.
We're inside in the Red Tower of Death. This was a place where a lot of people actually died of radiation. It was a place where they were putting under the communist era the uncomfortable prisoners and they let them work here to die. This tower basically represents all the oppression from the previous system. It is very impressive and very sad story. If you get a chance, come check it out. The Red Tower served as a sorting place for the uranium that was brought here from the nearby mines. The main reason for mining uranium was the nuclear weapon program of Russia. Speaking of uranium mines, we have moved to Jachymov and we will check one of the mines. We are in the mine in Jachymov. This place is famous for mining the uranium and also in the 16th century silver. It was extremely hard work in very unpleasant conditions. And therefore it also became sort of a weapon in political fight. And lots of the miners working in the uranium were basically prisoners. But the prisoners were not murderers or somebody really worthy a punishment. They were mostly political prisoners who were speaking against the communist regime. The life expectancy as a miner in uranium mines was 42 years. The city of Jachymov has a beautiful, well-preserved 16th century center. Behind me is the Museum of Jachymov. There are lots of interesting exhibits, including the coins. Actually, the American dollar is probably named after the dollar that was made here in Jachymov. In the 16th century, the king gave his approval for Jachymov to mine silver. You can see here the process of making the coins. They all had to be the right size and weight. This house actually served in the past as the mint. The first dollar coins were minted here in 1518. There's a display of different minerals that you can find in the mountains nearby. In the dungeon you can find statues that are portraying the first miners of silver. Oh, that's the Saint Procopius with the devil. Remember from Třebíč? There's a whole section dedicated to the political prisoners, and there are their stories which are sometimes unbelievable. One lady was put in prison just because she was suspected that she might emigrate on her holiday in Šumava. In the Middle Ages, the families usually had no idea how the mining works, and so these little boxes were invented to demonstrate the whole mining process. It was something between a theater and a display at the fair markets. It's normal daylight objects, and then you just turn it off and it's like, it's uranium. Uranium color. This is a bust of Marie Curie Skłodowsky, who was taking uranium from Jachymov for her experiment with radiation, and she won the Nobel Prize. She actually won 2 Nobel Prizes, and she was the first woman to do so. She discovered 2 new elements, polonium and radium. I should also mention that Jachymov is a spa with radioactive springs. And finally, the last part of the museum is dedicated to folk clothing and furniture. So that's all I had to show you today. We have seen the new UNESCO Heritage Sites from the 2019. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, why don't you give me one minor thumb up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely rest of your day and bye!